Good morning, St. Louis. Y'all know what time it is. It is 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. So it's time for the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. And today we're talking about honest, successful relationships. Is there such thing as being too honest too early in a relationship? We're going to talk about how you should go about that. What do you reveal early on? I'm going to give you some tips on things that you should talk about upfront in a relationship so that you can start off on a solid foundation. Sometimes, Shell, they just start off raggedy to begin with, and that's why they don't last. But we're going to get through that, and we're going to help you guys in that area. So let me know, what is too much to share early in the comments. While you're commenting, go ahead, drop the name of your business and or your brand. Smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen, and let's kick it.
Growing up in St. Louis has never been easy, and most say if you want to succeed here, that you must leave and put down roots somewhere else because of the strong crabs in a barrel mentality here.
I don't know if I'm just an optimistic person, but to see people like Chuck Berry and Nelly make it in the music industry, or the Roberts brothers and Dave Stewart in business, or William Lacey Clay Jr. in politics, can we blame the city, or is it that people just aren't hungry enough?
We're talking to all of the movers and shakers in this town, from entertainers to politicians, social activists and organizers, and of course, entrepreneurs.
Is there a curse on this city that holds people back? Is there an unseen hand that decides who makes it and who doesn't? You're about to find out.
Welcome to St. Louis Hustle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. I am your host, CORTEZ. So that's my lovely co-host, Michelle. Hey. And we are coming to you live and direct from the Bob Crane Financial and Tax Planning Services right here in St. Louis, Missouri. Listen, if you don't understand how this tax game is played, I've been telling y'all for the last 6 years that the tax code is the #1 wealth building tool in the entire world, but you got to know how to use it to build wealth. And Bob Crane, who I affectionately call the alphabet man, because he got so many letters behind his name. He's a CFP, he's a CPA, he's an enrolled agent with the IRS. I mean, he's got so many certifications. He will get your money right, ladies and gentlemen. So comment tax planning, and I will put you in touch with my good friend, Bob Crane, so you can solicit his services and get your money right. Shelly!
Oh, what up, bro? Man, oh, man. Whew. Okay, so, you know me. I believe in telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just woke up about 20 minutes ago. That's the first thing. So, we go back into the weekend. We're going to start here and back. I just woke up 20 minutes ago.
Must have been a heck of a weekend there.
Man, I am, man, oh man, I don't even know what happened. I'm going to just say this. Processes were skipped this morning. Had to happen. Some processes were skipped. However, my weekend was great. The blonde is back in full effect.
The blonde bombshell is back.
You know what? It's so funny because there are several people that I know that call me that. Shout out to my girl Chelsea. But she does. She calls me Blonde Shell and Blonde Shell. Boom. And I got my hair cut and dyed yesterday, and I told my barber, shout out to the grooming lounge with the White Foster. But I told him, I said, you know what? We were going to try to let my hair grow out. And then I said, you know what? I can't deny St. Louis all this wonderfulness. Do you see all that wonderfulness right there? I can't deny St. Louis. I said, you know what, bro? Cut it off. I can't deprive the good people of St. Louis that compliment this head every week. I can't do that to them. So I'm gonna probably just stay short and blonde, and yeah, people gonna have to like it. So my weekend, I kicked it with I had out of town people in. A good friend of mine had her people in from Little Rock.
Okay.
Man, don't fool with the Rock. That's all I gotta say. Oh, boy, they was all over the boy. But it was a good time. If you like partying, now you know it's bad. If I say somebody sit me down partying,
they
sat me down. I was like,
the sugar shacker.
They out sugar shacked me, man. When I say they had me like I'm finna go, I can't do this. I gotta let my chair down. I said, why I feel so high? That's how my weekend was. I felt just high all weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it was a good time. I did want to ask your opinion about something, and we're going to talk about this in the A word of the day. We're going to talk about boundaries today, right? I'm just doing all shout out to Coach Lisa, official friend of the show, Coach Lisa. We talked about boundaries and such, and you know, we could talk about this a little bit later on, maybe towards the end, or we can even say for another show. But when two men that don't know each other meet and boundaries are crossed, like what happens, right? We were having our little weekend, our little soiree, and a gentleman that lives here that I know, known about 10, 15 years, he got mingled in with the ladies of the party that I was with. And everybody was relatives in this party, but the fellas of the party didn't take too kindly to an outsider. And they dismissed him from said party or booth. They had a booth. And they dismissed him very harshly.
Gotcha.
I had a problem with that because I feel like boundaries were crossed. Because they talked to the man, there was no disrespect. And even the guy was like, "Shay, I know these your people, but it's the disrespect for me."
Yeah.
So that might be something for another show, but I'm just like, that ain't how friendships end. That's how lives end. That's how misunderstandings happen when people cross boundaries. So we'll talk about that in the A word of the day.
Yeah, I think you are on something there, and thank God that everybody apparently walked away.
Yeah, he was the bigger dude. He was a big little bitty old dude, but he was a bigger dude. So shout out to him.
Yeah, it's like that sometimes, man. When it comes to us brothers, egos are like, I mean, it is. I think one of my influencers I follow talks about it being the most sensitive thing in the world is the male ego. Matter of fact, Charlamagne the God talks about that all the time from the Breakfast Club. One of the most sensitive things in the world is the male ego, and sometimes it doesn't have to get crushed. The threat of it being crushed creates all sorts of problems in the minds of people who are not that secure in their masculinity. So that becomes an issue. And I'm not saying that's the case with your guys or your out of towners and all that kind of stuff, but I know that when the male ego is involved and there
crap can happen.
fisticuffs that are threatened, it's usually because somebody doesn't have that ego in check. And luckily one person did, or otherwise it could have got nasty. If they were both out of whack with their egos, it could have got nasty real fast.
It would have real bad. It's, it made me think. It made me think because the words was like, "Shell, I heard this bit out," and I'm like,
yeah. That's
there's some words you hear at a party, you be like, "I gotta go."
Yeah,
man. I said I got to get this joke off the ledge. He was on the ledge.
Yeah, and like you said, some people, they get it could go crazy real fast, 0 to 100 real quick, especially if
real quick.
Other substances involved, like alcohol and Mary Jane, and now these kids got pills and all kind of stuff, man. That is not healthy for the fragile male ego. So good morning to Melissa Wilson. I see you out there on the YouTube.
Hey,
Ricky Lowe, my friend, says egos is not your amigos. Yeah,
like it.
And that's usually just some immaturity showing its ugly.
Oh yeah. I was like Day and Friday. I was like, I got to live here.
right.
What you doing, man? I got to live here.
Right. Y'all ain't from around here. Right?
You get to go back to the rock.
And then they put you in a position where you got to pick a side. Like
I was like, I don't know how this gonna go. I drove my own car, so I knew I was in my own city in my own car. I get up out of here, and I was confident that though y'all was deep, this dude, he deep with the owners, and it just was crazy.
Yeah, it could have got nasty. It could have got nasty. We thank God that it didn't. Yeah, and it sounds like you were able to have a good time.
Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed, that's me. So that's a whole nother show though. So
we're talking. We're talking, ladies and gentlemen, about relationships. And tell me, is there something that you should not share within the first 30 days of a relationship? Right? I'm not saying you go lying to this new person that might end up being the one. But do you hold something back, or do you just put it all out there and let them pick up the pieces and decide? I don't know, but we're going to talk about a honest and healthy relationship this morning. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Michelle A. word of the day. Let me bring Michelle's boyfriend on to
my boyfriend. Where else yet?
Introduction. Let's go.
Okay.
And now the Michelle I. word of the day.
Okay, so man, the word of the day, we're gonna talk about boundaries because I think that's such an important topic. And you know me, everything I be bringing to y'all, it be stuff right about my little life. You know what I'm saying? So boundaries came about from a situation that happened to me over the weekend, and it was so seamless that you know, a lot of people do this and we don't realize, right? So what we will do is we will cross boundaries with other people that we don't want others to cross with us, right? We disrespect their time. We disrespect a person, i.e. my last story, but we disrespect their time. We disrespect their energy, what they have going on, and so
Michelle,
almost came to
pull your mic off your zipper.
My bad. Thank you, Gavin. My bad. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna just hold it. I'm gonna just right there. So over the weekend, y'all know my baby's expecting my grandchild any day now. We almost came to fisticuffs. That's the word for the day, fisticuffs. And because there was some disrespect or some boundaries crossed. And I love it when life is the best teacher. How she woke up, she said, "Ma, I need you to just take me to get some food." That's all I thought I was doing. I'll take you to get some food. But then when I pick you up, you got 10 more places for you to go. I didn't feel like going 10 more places. I just partied with The Rock. I didn't feel like going. They wore me out. I was really out. So boundaries were crossed where she implied, you know, because she'd helped me do some things that I should be doing this to her. A big moral of the story is you have to be aware of the boundaries that exist in your relationships, right? So boundaries are not just for romantic relationships. They should definitely be there. But boundaries are for parent-child relationships, boss-employee relationships, you know, business partner to business partner. Establish your boundaries early. You know what I'm saying? Because when they get crossed, feelings get hurt. That's how friendships end, relationships come to turmoil or whatnot. When you establish those boundaries early on, you know what I'm saying? Everyone knows the expectation. And for myself, I wasn't clear with my boundaries. She wanted me to do something I clearly didn't want to do, but I did it anyway. But she quickly got a turnaround in that because she had an opportunity to see it third person where we have another group of friends and one asked the other to do something and the other was like, wait for it. No. And that was it. It was a statement. It wasn't no question mark. It didn't require extra verbiage. And you know what? And the person that received the no was like, okay, and went on to something else.
Yeah.
I was like, man. So those in that relationship, boundaries are established. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you haven't established boundaries in your relationships, you need to get out there and do it. You could be a little bit late. You know what I'm saying? But you need to kind of get out there and do that because that's how stuff kind of gets jacked up. So, again, I always draw from personal experience. I'm resetting boundaries. Sometimes you need to revisit them. So I'm resetting my boundaries. So, you know, I'm going to leave that with y'all for the Michelle A. word of the day. Boundaries, people. Boundaries. There it is.
All right. The A word of the day, of course, brought to you by our good friend Bob Crane, Financial and Tax Planning Services. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have a good tax planner, especially, let me talk to all of my entrepreneurs out there. If you are in business and you don't have a good tax planner, different from a tax preparer. See, most people have tax preparers and they're reacting to filing their taxes once a year. No, and then they're trying to find receipts. And your tax preparer is trying to give you things to claim and all that kind of stuff. No, you've been spending money all year, Joker. You should have been talking to somebody and asking questions like, hey, is there any way that this could become a tax write-off for me and my business? That's what a tax planner does. Hey, I'm going to buy a new car. What should I get? Well, if you get a truck over 6,000 pounds, you can write the whole price of that car. See, you need to talk to a Bob Crane.
I gotta give
and
them
get you
credit.
some financial and tax planning services going on in your life. And then when you start making a boatload of money in your business, and you don't want your Uncle Sam and your Aunt Iris to take a huge chunk of it,
Don't take my money, please.
yeah, you need a tax planner in your life who is also a financial planner and advisor and can put that money into tax shelters that will allow you to keep more of your hard-earned money. So comment keyword tax planner, and I'm gonna put you in touch with my good friend Bob Crane for his financial and tax planning services. Now, Michelle,
Right. Man, let's get
is
it.
there anything? What are the limits to what you are willing to share, right? And when I say early in the relationship, clearly on the first date, there are some things you're not talking about. But let's just say you followed not my rule, but Uncle Steve Harvey's rule. You're at the 90-day point where y'all been kicking it without relations, and you're getting to know one another, and it's starting to get serious. And this guy has a lot of the boxes checked, or this gal has a lot of the boxes checked as if they can be the one. So at that point, do you start pulling wigs and eyelashes off?
Why you have to go there? Why you have to? You didn't even have to go to. I thought we was just when you think you know your brother. Well, thank God the wigs have already been snatched. However, I look like a bald eagle without my lashes, so the lashes just have to stay on. Put me in the coffin with my lashes on, please. Is there something that you don't share? You know what? Because I could be embarking more or less on the same thing. I'm not at 90 days yet. And you know me, I love all things Steve Harvey. So that's like my pretend daddy. Yeah. And so I think there are some things you should hold back, especially it depends on how personal they are. I mean, if they're like life and death personal, you know what I'm saying? Because, okay, I'm going to just take it past my track. We're going to talk about my track record because we've talked about it before. When I make it to 6 months, then I'll start revealing some stuff. Now, here's the blessing in it is that I'm pretty open, right? I wear my heart on my sleeve. So most jokers that I would deal with anyway, they're going to know 90 to 95% of information within the 90 days. They're going to know, oh, I got to break them into stages. Can you handle that? Right. Okay, we good. Can you handle that? Whew, okay, you're good. I got to can't get on to them at one time. I make the head pop off. Right. So, but because my track record, I put my track shoes on right about day 90. It ain't even got to be a good reason. Sometimes you got to start with self and just know that it's me. It can't be everybody. It can't be everybody. What is Lisa? Okay, so yeah, that's my thing. Me and Coach Lisa just talked about that last night, along with boundaries, and we talked about because we both will be 50 in December, and you better not tell nobody but God.
Well, let me say this before. I've seen you. Obviously, we got a relationship. I saw Coach Lisa for the first time at your book signing, and it's true what they say: black don't crack, because y'all don't look like y'all are approaching 50. So kudos to y'all for taking care of yourselves and good genes and all that good stuff, man. So y'all don't look like
Yes. So I guess long story short, yes, there's a few things. Now I have other friends of the show that could be watching. So don't let that scare you, friend of the show, 6'5". Don't let that Mr. 6'5". Okay, we moved on. Mr. Wonderful is a thing of the past, but Mr. 6'5". Don't let it scare you. He knows about my 90 days.
Let me play a little Big Brother real quick, Mr. 6'5". Don't get your ass cut down to 5'6".
Why? Jesus.
Don't play about your lay now. You're trying to get her married. Now, if you ain't about that life, don't get cut down now. Now you're talking coming from the most non-confrontational person you'll ever meet. But that's my big brother role, my father role. I'll talk it now. I'll say what's supposed to be said now.
Right.
If you stand up though, I'm gonna have a heart on you. Come here, man. Give me a hug, man. Give me a hug. That's how we
give
get
you a
down
hug.
around here.
That, hey, give me a hug. Just hug it out. I feel like we don't hug enough. Let's hug it out. But that, you know what? And I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Since it's new, but I believe 6'5" could be right. But again, we gonna see in 90 days when I start lacing up, right?
Yeah.
He keep talking me about my track shoes, so he's
Yeah.
on a roll so far. Because
Yeah.
I've already been trying to put my track shoes on. He's like, "Where you going? That's not even a reason to put your shoes on. It ain't even time yet. It's barely been like 60 days." So, but so break them in succession. So you can't give it all to him at once.
Yeah.
What about
I
you?
think,
When you got together with your sugar, what'd you do?
I think there are things that personality wise, I want you to know all that this personality is. I want you to know all that I am at my core.
I did
that. As early as I can. Like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I stand for and represent. This is also who I aspire to be. This is key because sometimes relationships end because the people aren't growing at the same rate in the same.
Absolutely.
So I need you to know who I aspire to be, what I'm trying to grow into, because you might be 100% comfortable and confident with this joker that you're meeting right now. I can promise you this, boo-boo, he ain't staying the same and he ain't gonna stick around too long. So if you are in love with this is who I'm trying to be. So this is where we're going. I'm trying to go to this place. So this is who I am. This is who I aspire to be. Now, I am, because I try not to tell a lie, Michelle.
I shall not tell a lie.
Okay with answering any questions that I asked early on.
Boom. There it is. I'll answer anything.
Some things I will not volunteer, right?
Yeah.
But if you ask,
there it is.
I might want to know why you want to know, but heck, if we're going down this road and it's going to end because of something in my past or the way I behave or who I used to be versus who I am now.
Absolutely.
Let's get that stuff out on the table, man, so you can make your qualified, educated decision. Because at the time that me and Sugar hooked up, I was done playing, right? I had learned, because of my past history and being molested as a kid, I learned about sex. I started watching porn when I was 8 or 9 years old. And I knew about that. So I started chasing women early and all of that kind of stuff. And by the time I was 21 years old, I was through. Right? Like, this is where most people are getting their start. I was wrapping it up, like player card, punch and passport stamped out the wazoo. I'm done. So I was ready to make the move to be in a full-time committed relationship and see what that looks like. Because I had only been in one before, Michelle, and that was with my high school sweetheart. So we were, I chased this young lady for 6 years, right? From the 6th grade to the 12th grade. And then we finally got a chance to date officially and prom together and all that kind of stuff. Cutest couple, all that. So we were good through college.
Not cutest. First of all, but was it necessary for you to mention cutest couple? King and queen and a prom,
listen, man. Listen, let me cap a little bit, Michelle. Let me cap just a little bit. So when me and my sugar hooked up, like, I literally left St. Louis, moved to Mississippi, where I was born in Tupelo, looking for a wife. I literally, I was like, I was done. So if we go down this path, and I know that this is the potential one, but I don't want to waste time either. So as quickly as we can put it all out on the table and you can make a decision on, hey, is that a deal breaker for you? No, we can keep moving. This comes up. Is that a deal breaker? Hey, I'm honest about this situation, that situation. Is that a deal breaker? Can we continue to move forward? I want to get to that place as quickly as possible so that I don't waste time. Like, I was looking for a wife and to be married and to start my family at 21 years old.
Man.
And that's what happened. So there are some things that you might not want to ask. Like, women always ask how many partners. You might not be ready for the answer.
Right, right. Don't ask questions you don't want to know the
You might
answer
not
to.
be ready for the
Stay in your
answer,
lane.
right? And I would tell any woman to, yes, ask the questions, but also watch the actions.
Yeah. Oh, you
Because
have
I'm gonna
you have
say,
to.
like, you don't know. It's hard for a woman to tell. Now, some women have their game detectors on fleek, right? Just really
Right.
up there, like they can peep game from a mile away. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of women can't though, because they're in positions where they are ready to settle down. They're ready to be married. So when a
That's
man
it.
shows up talking a good game, in your heart you want to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
as
we
you
know.
want to believe it, the
No.
actions aren't lining up with the words, and
Thank
you
you.
will overlook all of these actions because the
Absolutely.
words are sweet.
Yep. Yep. You got to be careful with that. Me and Coach Lisa, we have the most interesting conversations. I'm telling you, that's the next podcast. We got to figure out what to call it. You know what I'm saying? Ref and the player, because she like a
Yeah.
referee. You know, and just something we got to figure it out. But
Flag on the play. Flag on
you
the
heard
play.
me? Man, she'll throw a flag on the plate in a minute. But we had this conversation from a standpoint of with us, getting ready to turn 50. Who got time? I ain't got
Yeah.
time to be. I ain't got time to be getting married at 50. Hint, hint. I got time to be getting married at 50 and divorced at 55. The devil is a lie. We're gonna have a duct tape situation. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody's not leaving. It said till death do we part, boo boo, and there it is.
No, I'm
Now,
serious.
and I know I ain't dying.
Listen, I said cut down to 5'6". Well, if I cut you at the knees, you're gonna be even shorter than that, 6'5". I'm just saying.
Man, I think, but I think he go cooperate. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll say this, right? Oh my God, he's tactical. Because me, I'm used to men. I'm used to getting my own way, and if I don't get it, I'm used to throwing a tantrum or whining to just, and then I'm like, well, I'm out of here. And he tactfully and tactfully had a way to have me not do that, but it wasn't. I'm used to Jiggers being aggressive, going, you ain't going, but it was so smooth the way he did it, and then I was like, and he flipped the script. I was like, well, I guess I don't really want. Well, I guess I do run sometimes. I was like, did you just Iyanla Van Zant me? Like, what happened?
Yes.
I was like, did you just? What happened? It was pretty crazy. That's why I was just like, okay, I'll see you over there, 6'5". I see you over there, 6'5". I see you. I see you, sir.
And that's powerful in that, okay, that lets you know early on.
Yeah,
that
seriously.
this is a serious candidate. Now, he still got to get through the primaries and all of that kind of stuff.
We still getting through,
but he's a serious candidate. This ain't somebody who just Kanye West put their name in the hat, I'm running for president. Right? No,
right.
This is a serious candidate.
Yeah. You know what? Real talk. Pushing the career.
Got the backing of the party, is what I'm saying. No.
Yeah, real talk. I think, and those are some of those things that I'm sure we're going to get to some of those things, but in our topical discussion today. But I think those are some key things that I know with honesty and new relationship. I put all my endeavors out there, like you said. Here's who I am, but here's who I endeavor to be, right? And that's all out there. And 6'5" jumped on the train like, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? I do a little bit here. I do a little bit there. I got some experience in this and that. What can I do? And I'm like, okay, where I'm used to, you got to do all that. I mean, dang. I mean, why you got to, are you always trying to, again?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we gingerly easing into it.
And I love that because I can't imagine what it's like to be a woman and be
tread lightly. Tread.
No, seriously, I can't imagine what it's like to be a woman with ambition.
Okay. Yeah.
To be dealing with a no-getter, right?
Whoa!
That's my wife's next project, right?
A no-getter.
How to survive being married to a go-getter.
Oh my God, man.
But if you're not careful, you'll get tricked and think you got a go-getter and you got a
you got a no-getter.
And that's
I don't want that.
crazy, right? But I can't imagine what it would be like for a woman to be a go-getter and then to be intimately involved, especially over a long period of time, with someone who don't understand the hustle and the grind and is not in it for the full support. So we got to get into this topic real quick. Melissa says we need to be totally honest with ourselves and know what we can handle and deal with, and stop pretending, because we too old to pretend. Melissa, at 21, I was done pretending. Listen, man, this joker who I'm pretending to be, he ain't got no place in my future. So what am I going to do to, change and make the necessary adjustments? And that's ultimately what I ended up doing. So it's just about your level of maturity. I was through playing, honestly. So I was like, hey, who am I going to settle down with? I was looking at a few different candidates, and two of them didn't make it out the primary, Michelle. Two of them make it out the primary, Michelle. So this segment of our show, as we're going to get into our topic of the day, is brought to you by the Cortez Hustle Challenge. For those of you who are looking to make money online and you've been trying to figure this thing out, you keep seeing all this lifestyle of these people on social media, Instagram, and all these places. Listen, a lot of that stuff is fake. But let me tell you this, though. There are some brothers and some sisters who have figured out this online marketing game, and they are getting it. When you see the Fendi bag, it is a real Fendi bag, but more importantly, it's got some Fendi cash on the inside of the Fendi bag. It ain't just a bag. They understand how to leverage this tool called the internet, married with a cell phone and social media, and they're getting to the bag. The Cortez Hustle Challenge is my challenge to you to help you make your first or next $1,000 online. And we do it in a way that a lot of that 1,000 will actually be passive and show up in your life over and over and over again, month after month after month after month. So if you are interested in learning how to make money online, I need you to comment Cortez Hustle. And I'm going to send you the link to set up this free system that we're using to create this online income. That is the Cortez Hustle Challenge, or you can just go to CortezHustleChallenge.com, put in your email address, go right to the page. It's going to explain everything. Get to the bag, ladies and gentlemen. Stop letting this internet and these social media platforms use you. Start using them to make some money. So let's get to our topic for today, Michelle. 4 keys to an honest and successful new relationship.
All right. So I guess you want me to kick things off? I kick things off. That's me. Okay. Starting with a strong foundation of friendship and trust is important when you're building a new relationship. A foundation built on honesty can mean the difference between a healthy relationship and one that leaves much to be desired. All right. So number one, the first key would be, I do this all the time. I ask this question because most jokers won't volunteer it. Share the reason why your last relationship ended. I'll wait. Some folk too secretive. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna tell you. Oh yeah, I broke up. We was together 6 years. We was gonna get married, but we didn't. Why? Why, Sway? What happened? It is not only fair, but it's also important for your new dating partner to understand what caused the breakup of your last relationship. This is especially true if you're the blame. Your honesty and candidness will be appreciated, right? So, man, showing a new person that you are remorseful about your past actions also allows them to see how you've learned from the past and wish to do things differently in the future. Key, by sharing your past relationship challenges, you could avoid repeating them. Very also true. If this new person doesn't stick around after your outpouring, chances are they weren't the one anyway. Come on, people. Don't worry. Your match will still be out there waiting for you. So, man, share that honesty. That is my number one dating. What happened? I had 6'5". 6'5", what happened? I need to know. I'm going to ask.
Yeah, and I think this is where men and women have to use discernment, right? Because we talked about this in our episode on narcissism, right?
Yeah.
When you ask the question, I need you to listen, Linda. Linda, listen, Linda, listen. Listen to what that man or that woman says.
Yep.
If they had zero responsibility in the cause of the demise of that relationship, you might want to look a little closer under the hood, right? Because it takes two to tango, people.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
everything ain't the other person's fault. And if that's the narrative that they're painting, then you got to be careful. And I know why that narrative gets painted is because what we're talking about right now today. I don't want to air any of the dirty laundry that might run this potentially new mate away. So I don't want to say where I made my mistakes because this person's going to be looking for those same mistakes in me. No, that's if we are done playing like done,
right?
Then
seriously.
Hey man, listen, this is what I did, or this is what he claimed I did. This is what my intentions behind it, and this caused a fracture in the relationship that ultimately ended with a clean break.
Yeah,
it is what it is, right? And it's okay to go there and just say, sometimes the truth is we just grew apart. I'm a little bit more ambitious than he. He was cool at his minimum wage job. I'm trying to start a business, and that creates a conflict. Whatever it is, right? But you got to. I always listen for what was the person that I'm looking to date, how much responsibility that they own up to in the demise of the relationship. And if it's not there, then you're not going to tell me that you're perfect, that you did everything right.
Absolutely. You know what? That points to self-awareness as well, Cortez. That which again, it ties back into narcissism or whatnot, but or self-awareness or the lack thereof. If you there, and I specifically asked the question because I'm looking for that specific answer. I'm looking for your self-awareness level. You know what I'm saying? Because just like you said, come on, you ain't do nothing. You ain't fart in your sleep. You ain't do nothing. Really? Come on. You know what I'm saying? So. Like you ain't wake up and like skip steps in the morning. I ain't skipped the important steps this morning. I woke up late. I did all the important things. The non-important I ain't do. Whole nother thing. But being self-aware to say, you know what, never let. What did I tell you? When Mr. Wonderful broke up, I said, you know what? I broke up. Well, we broke up because Mr. Wonderful, first of all, that jigger sent me a breakup text like we was in 12th grade. That's the first thing. But I said, honestly, we was two different people. Y'all know I'm a spiritually driven person. I'm real. I'm honest. I'm I'm trying to live as an authentic life as I can. And my relationship with God and my authenticity, they collide often, as they should. And Mr. Wonderful wasn't ready. He wanted to do a hallelujah, but he didn't want to live authentically. You know what I'm saying? At least not and realistically. And so, but I know where I went wrong. I like the Sugar Shack. He didn't. You know what I'm saying? I know where I went wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I can admit that. I can admit I'm a track star. If it get hard, I'm up. I admit that. So I know I have to try to do some different things to get different results this time.
Yeah.
So it's super important. Super, super important.
Number 2.
You up.
Discuss what you're looking for in this relationship. Keyword is this.
This right? Right here.
Try not to paint a false picture of your expectations. Your new friend might feel flattered to hear that you see a lifelong mate in them, but be honest about wanting to take things slowly if that's where your head is. Listen, man. It takes a for real player from the Himalaya to operate in this mode. But listen, lady, here's what I see for me and you. I see some horizontal hoo-hoo. You're going to go your way. I'm going to go my way. You down? Yo, you not? Oh, you looking for Mr. Right while I'm looking for Miss Right now?
Right. You so old. That's my brother. You are so old.
Seriously, before I got tired of playing those games, I learned that through the breakup with my my high school sweetheart, that I really did her dirty. And I didn't want to do another woman dirty like that, because I had started to realize from my past neglect and abuse how past hurts were showing up and causing a negative impact in my life. And I'm like, man, I really didn't handle that as I should have.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to be out here and I'm going to be single, then I'm going to put the cards on the table. Hey, I'm looking for friends with benefits right now. If that ain't you, I'm completely cool if you need a life partner. And if we can, if you think I'm fly enough, or you think I'm that guy, and you want to just, have a good time, and, when I'm with you, I'm with you. When I'm not, you ain't got that ain't your business. Right. And if that's cool with you, then that's how we roll. Cool. And if it's not, I'm 100% okay, because I don't want to cause you any hurt or harm.
Right.
I want you to know up front that this is what I want from this relationship. Man, you cool to hang out with. I see you like a road dog that I would eventually like to have sex with. But if we just hang out a few times and it never goes to that point, I just like hanging out with you right now. And when I'm with you, and I'm not, that ain't your business.
Right.
And if those are the terms. And then she might say the same thing. Listen, when I'm with you, I'm with you. When I'm not, don't show up unannounced. You might get surprised.
Man, you better understand. Don't come over here.
So what am I saying? Explain your feelings about what you want from this relationship and justify the reasons. Maturity goes a long way in getting the most out of any situation. Absolutely. Be prepared to give the same things you expect, so both parties are treated fairly. Like, seriously, if you ain't with me, it ain't my business. So I ain't got nothing to say. If somebody says they saw you with Who Shot John, that ain't my business. When we together, we together. When we not together, we not together. Period. Right? Remember that a relationship is a two-way street.
Absolutely. Okay, number 3. Man, I think somebody looked in my life and wrote all this stuff down, because I promised I do this every relationship, and people be thinking it's too much, but I just ain't got time for the foolishness.
Yeah.
Number 3, divulge your strengths and your weaknesses. Back to self-awareness. If you ain't got the book, get the book. Who in the heck do you think you are? I teach you all about how to know how to do this right here. How to divulge your strengths and your weaknesses. It is natural to want to put your best foot forward when being courted by somebody new. Hey. But the easiest way to lose that person's trust is to portray yourself as somebody that you're not. Show a willingness to reveal your weakness as well. Vulnerability goes a long way in inspiring others to trust you, right? There are some areas of my life I could be more vulnerable about. And there are some that I'm learning. I will go to my trusted vulnerabilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've taken them for a test drive. I've become comfortable with these vulnerabilities, and I'll expose them. But there are some others that I'm like, what you doing? I don't want. Nope, that's not on the list. Hold on, let me check the approved list of vulnerabilities. Hold on. Now, see, sir, it's not on the approved list. Mr. 65 was like, oh, let's. I'm good. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm on the phone snotting and crying. Next thing I know, I'm like, my puppy Jojo, he just came up missing, and they said that they took him to the vet and he never came back. I was like, next thing I know, I'm talking about my hamster, my gerbil, all my pets when I was a kid. I ain't know. I had some stuff deep in there, and I think it's incredibly sexy for a man. Okay, I'm going to be very, very honest. It's sexy for a man to be vulnerable. However, pick and choose your moments of breakdown. Okay? I ain't gonna lie, I had some dudes be too vulnerable too quick, and I'm like, ooh, that don't smell good on you. I got to, is that bitch assness? Oh, I don't know. I can't. Oh, I don't like the smell of bitch asses. I have to go. So I'm being honest, so I know me. If you give me too much vulnerability too soon, and you just think you're just gonna break down and cry in front of me, let's pace ourselves, please.
Right. But that's great. Again, self-awareness on your part. I don't like to see that in a man, and
not too soon.
That the man has to say, okay, this is who I am. And if she is not about this life, then she ain't the one.
Right. That's absolutely.
Because I'm not going to not be vulnerable. Like, I can't watch anything on TV, Michelle. Seriously, for 15 minutes, and I don't see a moment that makes me cry. Like, I'm telling you, it's like I told you when I watched the end of 5 Heartbeats. I feel like
I can't stop.
Going home. Right? Listen, I've seen that scene a million times.
And you just be like,
every time it makes me cry.
Just let the brother go home. He just want to go home.
Because for me, overcoming tragedy is a real tearjerker for me, because I've overcome tragedy in my life. So whenever there is someone overcoming tragedy, I mean, it really breaks me down every time.
But see, that's cool.
For the first 25, 26 years of my life, I was pretending not to be that guy.
Yeah.
Because society says that a man ain't supposed to cry. Society says a man ain't supposed to show weakness. That's what society says, but you can't have that and have truth in a relationship.
Right. I need to make an addendum to my statement. He can be vulnerable. I just need to see strength first. Like, you can't come out the gate like, what's wrong? You can't come, don't lead with that. I need to see your strength. I need to see that you're capable, because I've been in so many upside down relationships where I have had to assume both the role of being strong and feminine at the same damn time, right? So I haven't been able to always be the delicate flower that I am. So I appreciate a man that show me strength. I know there's a vulnerable man up under there. There has to be. Every man is vulnerable about something. But I just need strength first. I just need that before we get on that road. So real quick, your new partner, let your new partner know that you don't always have the best advice, but you're a good listener, and then also explain that you sometimes require encouragement to pursue something intimidating that you've always wanted to try but haven't. Encourage me about this thing. And that's true. I need that sometimes. The advice thing, I think I'd be good with advice. I'm good at that. But the second one, explaining that sometimes I need to be encouraged, because I am a person that encourages others often. I build people. That's what I do. Not build, but I encourage people. I build people up, and I can encourage them to do what they want to do. And I'm not always that way. Sometimes I need that really good, strong backbone to say, okay, Shell, you could do it. Because when it comes to my own junk, I think I be like, I'm good. So. Yeah.
And you're right, spot on that. Because sometimes it just requires it like Sugar and I, we started this thing on October 22nd is when my baby brother was killed, and I came back to St. Louis, and she was at the funeral and the wake. So probably I guess the funeral back then, and we wasn't in Corona time, so the funeral wasn't a month after the death, right?
Right.
Corona is like, you died, all right, we'll see you at the wake next month. No, so I guess a week after the 22nd, so around Halloween or somewhere around there, right, is when we had the wake, and we connected, and then over time we started writing and calling and each other, and all of those things. So 25 years, Michelle, and
wow. I'm
just now, probably 4 or 5 years ago, comfortable saying, Sugar, I don't know. Like, for real. I don't know. Because I've been taught and trained that, as a man, and I teach my kids this, we're problem solvers, right? Number one thing a man has to be is responsible. Number two thing a man has to be is a problem solver.
Absolutely.
Because your spouse, your mate, is expecting you to have some answers. And And it took me a while to get to a place where I can look my baby in the face and say, sugar, I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Oh, see, I think women, we respect that. You don't know? I give you some time. You know what I'm saying? But just hit me with the you don't know and what we gonna do. Chicka, if you don't, come on, put your head together. Come on, put your head right here. We'll figure it out together.
But we're going to figure it out. Raw
There it
Blend
is.
Network in the building. St. Louis, stand up. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on out there, Raw Blend. Appreciate you joining the show. Number 4, this is the last one. We're going to get through it quickly because we got to shout out our sponsors and give our final thoughts. Avoid sacrificing your morals for love. Even if you feel your new love interest is the biggest blessing, it's important to be honest about certain issues you can't tolerate or those that might be a deal breaker. Listen, it's okay to let this thing go because if you want Mrs. or Mr. Permanent, then if you got a standard, it's just your standard. Listen, now, don't mean that it can't change, right? There's 2 things I really didn't want, Michelle, before I got with my sugar. I didn't want a woman with kids because I told you I'm the most non-confrontational person. So I thought baby daddy drama was above my pay grade. So I didn't want no parts of that. And I didn't want a woman that smoked cigarettes. Like, I can't stand the smell of cigarette smoke. So number 1 wasn't really, really a deal breaker because God said, listen, you've always wanted to be a father. That's what you yearn to be. There's a lady that you connect with. She's got a couple kids though. So we're going to put you into a fatherhood mode immediately, right? Yeah. And then since she had 2, I'm going to let that joker outdo me. So I gave her 3. So I won.
I won.
So now we got 5, right? But it's okay to have those deal breakers. And I see women in relationships, and when the relationship ends, they start this whole list of things you couldn't stand about this guy from the beginning. Are you serious?
Yeah.
He wasted all of this time. Once you get things out in the open, there's a choice. That's all I want to get to as quickly as possible. The choice, right? If the love is real, the person will understand your morals and respect your position. Hey, Shell likes the sugar shack, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So are you okay with the blonde bombshell sugar shacking Shelley? If you are, then that's what we are, right? It's important to express your emotions when your new friend does something you don't like. So it's clear that you don't want it to happen again. You got to train people how to treat you. Remember that your beliefs make you the person you are. Avoid becoming somebody else for the sake of love, or in my case, for the sake of the cootie cat, right? Brothers are all day, every day, being whatever the young lady wants them to be because they trying to smash, yeah? Like, man, listen, bro, if it ain't authentic, then keep it pushing, man. Keep it pushing. So we're going to get to your last words here in a second. Coach Lisa says, we have to listen with words and movements because people use stuff against you.
Come on.
You talk about your past. I don't give too much info about my past. Yeah, that is something you have to be careful with, most definitely, Melissa, because they will use that against you, like the 80-20 rule, right?
Yep.
You give the person the 20% of the person that was wrong with your mate. So now I'm going to show up and I'm going to be that 20%. Because that's the part that you was missing, right?
Right.
And you're going to think that I'm the best in the world. And then when you get out that situation and you're in this situation, all you got is the 20%.
Yep, absolutely.
The 80%, I ain't that dude.
Right.
Got him. No, I got you with the 20%, boy, because I knew that was the 20% he was lacking. So I gave you that, what you thought you was missing. And now you gave up 80% to get with this 20. Now you need 5 of me to make 100. I'm just saying.
I can't go get 4 more of you. Okay. Now, so I know we at the top of the hour. She'd be like, that's my script, Shell. So final comments, Shell. Sure, I got final comments. Why not? No, just honesty.
Wait, before you give
and
your final comments,
Mhm.
we got to get Raw Blend Network on the show. I'm actually the founder of STL Natural Hair and Black Cultural Expert.
What does
Man,
that?
if you don't get your butt on this show,
Man, if you
man,
don't get up on this show, I mean, I love my hair, but we still want to get you on.
drop some contact information if you will. Email address so I can send you an official invitation to the show because I would love to connect with you guys over there and see what you got going on. All right, go ahead. Your final thoughts.
No, that's what's up. We can do the natural show. Remember, we was gonna do a natural show.
Mm-hmm.
We almost did it this morning because I almost ain't put that down. Today's a good day for it. Being honest in these relationships is so key out here. When you want to get to your forever, you want to get to your longevity. Honesty is always and will always be and remain to be the best policy. That's it. So that's it. That's what I got. And remember boundaries. Remember your boundaries. So honesty, set boundaries. Boom. That's a winning combination.
Absolutely. And remember, you train people how to treat you. And that starts at the beginning.
Yeah.
Not after y'all 6 months down the road
God.
You got feelings all entangled. Now you want to tell me you don't like that I smoke. Wait, what? I've been smoking with you for 6 months and now
I've been smoking.
Look, now you done got me hooked. And now you want to tell me how to stop smoking? Is you kidding me? Or here's the other one, Michelle. Listen, I ain't been to church with you now Sunday.
Come on. That one right there.
Now.
That's the next test.
Now we all got all mixed and mingled up. And you talking about I got to go to church every Sunday? Ladies, you understand the NFL season just kicked off? I got 17 Sundays where I got something else scheduled on my calendar.
I'd already covered that.
How to treat you. Do that on the front end, not after you get tangled up, because you give that person a choice to walk away. And sometimes that is the most liberating place to be in, not for the other person, for you. Because now I can move forward with a clean conscience. I told you it was going to be. If you decide to try to change me later down the road, that's your bad, right? So, real quick, got to give a shout out to our sponsors for today. Bob Crane's Financial and Tax Planning Services. If you're making that money in business and you don't have a tax planner in your corner, you are slipping on your pimping. It's more than getting your taxes prepared every year. Every dollar you spend in business has financial implications and ramifications that go beyond just a simple purchase and transaction. A good tax planner can help you every step of the way. Also, for those of you who want to make a little money online, then the Cortez Hustle Challenge is something you want to connect with us on. I have a free affiliate marketing system that will literally help you make your next or your first $1,000 online in the next 30 days. But you got to be willing to take action. So that's it for today's show, man. Until we talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Hustle up.